Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
The famous Vulture's Peak, Griddhakuta, also known as Gridhrakuta in Sanskrit and Gijjhakūṭe in Pāli, was one of the Buddha's favorite meditation places. It is a secluded place, high on a hill, with a magnificent view of the surrounding terrain, and at that time it was within easy walking distance to Rājagṛiha, or Rājagaha in Pāli, the capital of the Magadha kingdom. Rājagṛiha, meaning house of the king or royal house, has also historically been known as Vasumati, Brihadrathapura, Girivraja, and Kushagrapura. The city was strategically located, being surrounded by hills that served as a natural barrier to potential invaders. The city is mentioned in both Buddhist texts and the Ramayana, where it is called Girivraja, enclosure of hills. In the Mahabharata, it is mentioned as the capital of King Jarasandha, Krishna's maternal uncle. Ancient kings built defensive walls around it, the ruins of which are still visible in places. Today, Buddhist pilgrims visiting Vulture's Peak either arrive here from the south, from the direction of Bodhi Gaya, or stay in the area at Rajgir, a town located immediately north of Eagle Peak and the site of ancient Rājagṛiha. The distance from Rajgir, from the southern edge of the town to the base of the hill where Vulture's Peak is located, is approximately 3.8 kilometers and can be covered, among other options, using the picturesque local carts. From the base of the hill to Vulture's Peak, there are still 900 meters to go on a paved, well-maintained, gently sloping path. This access path is said to have been originally built during the time of the Buddha, on the orders of King Bimbisara. There are vendors along the way where pilgrims can buy souvenirs, soft drinks, and even packets of biscuits to feed the monkeys they encounter along the path. Another way to get there is by chairlift from the bottom of the hill, which takes you to Shanti Stupa, from where you can descend on a path on the lightly wooded hill towards Vulture's Peak. The walking distance is still about the same, but the advantage is that on this path you go downhill. Vulture's Peak probably got its name from a rock in that place, which resembles a vulture with its wings folded. According to the Pāli Sutras, the Buddha used to sit here in meditation, under the open sky. The Buddha, as well as Sariputra, Moggallana, Mahakunda, Ananda, and Channa, also lived for a time in the caves on Vulture's Peak Hill, located nearby. According to one of the Pāli Sutras, here at Vulture's Peak, when the Buddha was discussing with a wandering ascetic named Degānaka and speaking to him about renunciation, Sariputra, who was also present at the conversation, felt such intense devotion to the Buddha that he had a vision of the Buddha's way of seeing the fundamental laws of being, and his own mind would be freed from illusion, bathed in a sense of detachment. Gridhakuta, or Vulture's Peak, is also an important site for followers of Mahayana Buddhism. Both the famous Lotus Sutra and the Prajnaparamita Hridaya Sutra, the heart of the perfection of wisdom, considered the centerpiece of the canon of Mahayana Buddhism, relate teachings that are said to have been expounded here at Vulture's Peak. Although generally considered by scholars to be late compositions, their literary and doctrinal value is undeniable, and it is significant that the authors of these sutras chose Vulture's Peak as the setting for the teachings they carry. Gridhakuta is also the place where, during a conversation with the Buddha, King Bimbisara of Magadha will be so impressed that he will declare himself his follower, for as long as his own life will last. He will be the first king to adhere to his teaching, and will present him a forested park called Venuvana, the bamboo grove, a serene squirrel sanctuary just north of Rājagṛiha. Gijjhakūṭe, the personal physician of the king Bimbisara, will also build a residence for the Buddha and his community of monks in his mango grove called Jivaka Amravana Vihara. In Jivaka Amravana Vihara, on a full moon night, the Buddha gave an important discourse to the young king of Magadha. In this discourse, recorded in the Samanya Phala Sutta, he described in detail the increasingly profound states of meditation, jhana, attained by a practitioner. The places here are steeped in history. Almost all the hills in the area were visited by the Buddha and are mentioned in the Pāli Sutras. About 3.3 kilometers northwest of Vulture's Peak is Vibhara Hill, or Vibhara-giri, where it is said that the Buddha sometimes used to meditate in the afternoons under a pipal tree. On the northern slope of Vibhara Hill are the Saptapani caves, where the first Buddhist council was held, 3 months after the Buddha's parinirvana. About 2 kilometers north of Vulture's Peak is Vipula Hill, or Vipula-giri. According to the Itivuttaka, the Buddha said that if the bones left over from the successive bodies of a single person during his wandering in samsara for an aeon were collected together and did not decay, they would form a heap of bones as large as Vipula Hill. About 2.4 kilometers west-southwest of Vulture's Peak is Isigili Hill, or Rishigiri, known today as Sona Hill. According to the Isigili Sutta, in ancient times many rishis lived on this hill, and it was here that they were last seen, before disappearing, as if swallowed up by the mountain. Between Isigili Hill and Udayagiri Hill, there is a place where 2 parallel tracks are found, imprinted in the rock. According to local legends, they are the tracks of the wheels of Krishna's chariot during the events recounted in the Mahabharata. Vulture's Peak has been, and remains, a place of pilgrimage for Buddhists for millennia. The path that Buddhist pilgrims climb today is almost certainly the same one that the Buddha used to climb 2,500 years ago to his favorite meditation spot. The same route was climbed, in the 7th century CE, by the Chinese pilgrim Xuanzang, whose travel notes were instrumental for archaeologists of our time who sought to rediscover the ancient Buddhist sites. Dharmasvamin, a Tibetan monk who traveled to Magadha in the 13th century to study at Nalanda, and who also visited Bodhi Gaya and Vulture's Peak, reported that Gridhakuta was home to many carnivorous animals, including tigers and bears. To ward off the wild animals, pilgrims who climbed here beat drums, blew conch shells, and used torches made of green bamboo tubes that emitted sparks. For Buddhist pilgrims, lay or monks, who come here from India or from faraway lands, to see these places where the Buddha walked, to meditate for a while here where the Buddha sat in samadhi, to recite the ancient Pāli Sutras that have carried his words across the millennia, to gaze upon the enchanting scenery of these hills and valleys that he too gazed upon, to feel the mild climate that he too felt. All of these will turn into uplifting memories that they will hold dear and be proud of for the rest of their lives.
Wow.
เมตตาใบตาคุณครูไปเชียร์คุณยติกาปรุสันดานตมไม่เจตสาเต
สวากขาตัญจามาถึงแล้วขอถวายอภิวาทในมหานครราชคฤห์แห่งนี้
อยู่บนพอดีสามคนหาสังดามมาสามคนหาสามริเกทั้งปวงตายตรไปจงปวงประหารอันเห็นครูอาจารย์ไม่คนแห่งพระสัมมาสัมพุทธตรงกรมจงรักในพระยังเสนาต่อจรันให้ตรงตรัสดังในสัมมาสัมพุทธเจ้าจะสังต่อพระพระองค์พระตังในพระองค์ลอยไว้เจียงประเนียมทาอนุตตรเราตัวพระองค์พระสากตาตรงประเนียมทาสุขตามวยสมัครเรียนโพธิสัตว์ดำประกาศนาส้มไตรผมในพระตุลีพระบาทในพระสัมมาสัมพุทธประสาทปงปวดลอยเอาแวนแวนนาในพระนับเปลี่ยนเอาโจลเกิดกันพระนับเปลี่ยนบานประทอนเมเชียพอเมื่อไอยประแจประมอดฟองในเพลิงตรงเพลิงเกลเชียทอดอดตอมเชียคนยังสัตว์จะสังเกตียอาไตตาจะเยจะสร้างเตียอนาไตเจียประสองนังปานสำไรแม่บังคมในประสองแต่งลายโนโปรดตาอย่าเลียดจีปลอดเทียนกองปล่อยเรศเพียงยืนนักระลักสรุปปฏิฆาอรหังตุพระองค์อาจารย์
Coming bike accident hospital right now.
As in the great ocean there is but one taste, that of salt. In all the teachings I have given you there is but one taste, the taste of freedom.
Mano Puban Gama Dhamma Manu Setha Manu Maya Mansache Padothena Bhasativa Karotiva Tato Nan Dukhman Veti Chakkanva Vahto Padan Mano Puban Gama Dhamma Manu Setha Manu Maya Mansache Pasannena Bhasati Va Karoti Va